White man in boxing led the Flair Cops. Shout out to Goodfellas Sports TV.
Don't forget to check out our sponsor, The Health Blaze, at thehealthblaze.com. 100% all natural products from lotions, soaps, foot soaks, bath bombs, and much, much more. Use the promo code Goodfella1Boxing. Tell them your boy CJ Goodfella sent you. Get 18% off. We out.
All right, man, we back. Appreciate everybody for tapping in. Let's talk some boxing. Hit that subscribe button, bell icon button, share the video for your boy. And we're going to start off with Tony Bellew. And I heard something about not Wilder, but Charlo. So, Irv sent me some interesting info about Charlo. I wasn't going to talk about it in this video, but I just seen it. So, let's get on it. But basically, Tony Bellew, and I heard David Hayes say this in the past, basically insinuating saying Canelo Alvarez is on the juice. Right? I seen this on Tom Bennett's channel. I put the screenshot up there. Excuse me. Get my leg together. And basically saying how did he go up all those weight classes, and and Ashel Theo Payne responded saying that Manny Pacquiao did it. We already know Manny Pacquiao, what he about. Paul Malignaggi been screaming that since day one. Nate Campbell believe it. I believe it. I mean, we all believe it. And then also with Manny Pacquiao, even let's just say per se he was a clean fighter. Floyd Mayweather said it. Shane Mosley told him. But let's say he was a clean fighter, okay? If Manny Pacquiao was clean, if he was a clean fighter, let's not forget about the catch weights. He didn't beat Antonio Margarito at 154. He beat him at 150. All right? And Canelo also won his first world title at 150 versus Matthew Hatton. Most of y'all didn't even know Matthew Hatton existed. I remember watching that fight on HBO. So, at the same time, Canelo do the same thing. And also with the supers and the juniors, like, it's not that impressive if you won 5 or 6 titles, especially with 4 or 5 belts. All right? So, if you take let's talk about bantamweight. Let's just say bantamweight, featherweight, lightweight, welterweight, middleweight, light heavyweight. 7 divisions. So you told me you was a 4-time champion or world title holder in those 3 or 4 divisions. I'd be shocked. People talk about Manny Pacquiao. He wasn't being the lineal champion. Henry Armstrong was fighting when there was 1 belt, and he was a featherweight title holder or champion at the same time, welterweight champion at the same time, and I think they said lightweight champion, the middleweight champion. It was some crazy shit like that. Henry Armstrong is one of the 3 or 4 or 5 best, depending who you talk to, fighters of all time. Floyd Mayweather couldn't beat Henry Armstrong. All right, that's just keeping it real. So you talking about somebody that held titles simultaneously at 3 different weight classes. I know it's featherweight, I think lightweight and welterweight, something like I forget. All right, so we talking about somebody that really did that, not. Oh, Canelo won his first belt at catchweight. At 140, 149, 150, I think it was. And then he didn't want to fight Demetrius Andrade, Jermall Charlo, Jermall Charlo. So he ran up to 155. Then he fought Lara at 155 because he didn't want to be the mandatory. He didn't want to have no mandatories. Then when Liam Smith, when they stripped Demetrius Andrade and Liam Smith won the belt versus Liam Williams, then he come back down to 154. You know what I'm saying? And at the end of the day, you talking about a guy moving up, fighting, knocking Kovalev out. But then again, he couldn't even stop Chavez to drain Chavez at 164.5. Like I said about Canelo, even if he ain't juicing, and I don't know, or Pacquiao ain't juicing, they always got that safety net. Oh, you can't rehydrate to this. Or you got to take a weigh-in after the weigh-in and before the fight, and in the morning of the fight and before the fight. He did it to Kovalev. You think Canelo can go up and knock out Kovalev if Kovalev can comfortably win at 75, eat whatever he want to eat, and come in and fight night 200, 190 pounds? You think Canelo be walking up? Fuck no. So it's just not the drugs, allegedly. It's the fact that he got all these secret catch weights and draining. He had a catch weight on Rocky Fielding. Come on, Rocky Fielding. You wasn't 100% confident you could beat Rocky Fielding. So when people talk about pound for pound, like he's a pussy for pussy. He don't want to fight nobody legit. And say what you want to say about Floyd Mayweather. He rematched Castillo. Lara didn't rematch. He didn't rematch Lara. Floyd Mayweather didn't have all these rehydration clauses. He made Canelo come down to 152. But then again, Canelo could rehydrate to wherever he want to weigh in. See, that's why I don't hold Pacquiao in my top 25 fighters. I don't hold Floyd Mayweather there. The more and more you know. And I don't hold Canelo as he's an all-time great for his era, but I can't put him in there with Hagler, Monzon, Roy Jones Jr. Like, this nigga always got some type of stipulation. And then guys like, and I like Fighter Hub, shout out to Marcos, but then you got these Hispanics that sit here and say, oh, they be hating on Canelo. No, nigga, you don't want us to act like the stipulations ain't there. And Chavez, has stipulations. They arrested from his resume, allegedly. But then again, Chavez still fought black fighters. He didn't duck no style. Even though he lost to Frankie Randall, then they robbed Frankie Randall, then they robbed Pernell with a draw. But then again, he never had a fear of black fighters or slick fighters or fast fighters. Chavez fought them how they came. However Dan King wanted to do it, he fought the Hector Camachos. He fought the Roger Mayweathers. He fought Pernell, even though he didn't get a rematch. We didn't need no rematch. He lost that fight. He fought Frankie Randall, lost to him, robbed him the second time. However you want to go. He fought brothers. You know what I'm saying? Canelo don't want to fight no brothers. He said he didn't want to fight. He told Billy Joe Saunders, he want to fight Billy Joe Saunders a couple years ago. He said, oh, I already beat that style. I don't want to fight. Canelo ain't no great fighter. Canelo ain't no great fighter. He just looked great because his compadres or his contemporaries is garbage. So you got guys like Terrence Crawford who want to fight the best, but due to boxing politics, he can't fight the best. And it's easier to say put Terrence Crawford in Errol Spence position right now. You know what I'm saying? He put Errol Spence in his position. I think Terrence Crawford will fight Errol Spence. That's my opinion. In another dimension, maybe we can't get that. But then again, in another situation, you got Errol Spence who don't want to make the best fights because he knew what it felt like to be starved. I'm perfectly fine. At the end of the day, like Roy Jones said, when he asked Tank when he gonna fight Loma, like, we just want a timeline. If it's not gonna happen, then shit. The money I saved up to go to the fight, I can spend that on something else. Or I can transfer that to my Super Bowl fund, which the Lions ain't never going. But, I can do something different with my money. I can put it in the college fund, put extra money on the kid, whatever. On my homie books, whatever. But all I'm saying is, that motherfucker ain't that great. He ain't great at all. If you put him in an era with the Fabulous Four, Tommy Hearns, Marvin Hagler, Sugar Ray Leonard, and Roberto Duran, he'll be just another number. If his name was Daquan Jones, he'd just have 15, 20 losses. That's one thing I never respected about boxing. It ain't about how good you are. A lot of times it's about politics, what you look like, where you come from. And at the end of the day, it's some great fighters who never got the murder's row. They never got the pageantry that they deserve because what they look like, where they come from, what their color is. If Canelo was a nigga, you think Marcos or some of these other Hispanics would be riding his dick and they'd be doing the same. Oh, Canelo got drunk and flew out of a T-top, or he had a catch weight. They'd be doing the same thing if Manny Pacquiao was Marcus Johnson or Marcus Pace. They'd be saying, he had a catch weight. At the end of the day, all this is about keeping up with Negro fighters. Negro fighters like the Murderers Row, and black fighters today, Terrence Crawford, Jermall Charlo, Floyd Mayweather to go through it. You gotta look spectacular. You gotta catwalk the dirt bike while doing the 360, chewing bubblegum, smoking 3 blunts, and drinking vodka at the same time. They gotta go up and beyond. But you know what? It's just because the greatest fighters of all time are color fighters. Muhammad Ali, Sugar Ray Leonard, Roberto Duran, a great fighter. He up there, and some people top 5, top 10. Great fighter. Roy Jones. It's a lot of great black fighters. So they just tired of seeing the repetitive nature of black fighters dominating the sport. So since we dominate the sport so much, we gotta do something extraordinary just to get average credit. And a guy like Canelo could do something, okay, but then it's glorified. But I'm not gonna knock him. He done the most in this era. Not named Pacquiao, he done the most. So, in this era, it's like he done what Marvin did. He done what Sugar Ray Leonard did. And guys like Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford, for whatever reason, they can't get those fights. In the heavyweight division, we've been deprived of heavyweight glory for almost 20 years. But then they got the right to say, oh, I don't want to fight each other. Oh, we going to duck this, that, and the third. Get out of here. Get out of here. Get out of here. But then, go about Tony Bellew, man. He right, though. He got popped once. People want to act like Tyson Fury didn't get popped. Remember Deontay Wilder fans, when I was bringing up the receipts, when I was saying that he shouldn't fight Fury, he shouldn't, or he better be or Fury cheating. I got all the videos on my channel. I've been telling people before that Fury was a cheater, but nobody wanted to believe me until Deontay Wilder lost the first fight, but it was a draw. Lost the second fight, now everybody wanted to bring up receipts. Same thing with Canelo Alvarez. He got caught with clenbuterol, and just because he's Hispanic, he got so much domination over the sport. He got caught. Not all of a sudden, it's a situation where, we gonna raise the levels. You gotta have this much clenbuterol to get popped hot. Come on, if you're talking about privilege, That's more privilege than anything. You pop hot, then they raise the levels to which you got to have this much computer off for it to be, positive test. Boxing is just, it just needing to be tore down. You need a different platform. You need a different vision. You need a whole reform of the sanctionable body system. And all these dudes that should be ashamed that's in here, man. And they're not going to be happy until food is taken out their mouth, until people start watching. I'm really contemplating a full move to UFC. I just got to get in there and do it and actually learn the lingo and stuff of that nature, learn the history, which I'm practicing on doing now. Check out to my boy Lion Killer podcast. He do that in boxing and a lot more other stuff. But, I agree with Tony Bellew. Something ain't right. You couldn't knock out Arisandi Lara. I mean, who else? He couldn't knock out. He couldn't even drop and get a technical knockout versus Angulo. All right. You couldn't knock out 93-year-old Miguel Cotto. You couldn't knock out Chavez at 164.5. But you want me to believe you went up to fought Big Bad Kovalev. You knocked him out. When Alvarez could knock him out. I said, get out of here. You already know stipulations, rehydration clause. Like, you couldn't even beat Chinny Danny Jacobs straight up. You had to put a rehydration clause on Danny Jacobs. So I don't think he that great. And that's why people want to ignore that. But then want to bring up, oh, Crawford did this. Errol did this. Gervonta did this. Loma didn't do this. Tio didn't do this. Like, dude, Canelo ain't a great fighter. He just did more because the political climate of boxing is that. But I don't think he that great of a fighter. He definitely in the top 10, probably junior middleweight of all time. If, I don't know how steep that list is. Or middleweight of all time. But then again, he go the distance with a drained Chavez, but jump up and knock Kovalev out at a fair 75. Just listen to how people sound, bro. But let's move on, man. Apparently, Jermall Charlo said he'll move up and fight Canelo. Irv sent me something that says that he wanted to fight Canelo at 166, which was 2 fucking pounds. I never heard that. I heard that he turned down, was it 12 or $15 million? I think Golden Boy or PBC said 12, and the actual number was 15 million, and he turned down 15 million. He said, "Oh, I never got a contract. I never got a contract." You have to verbally agree to get to a contract. So I heard that he didn't want to fight, and I love Jermall Charlo, and I think Jermall Charlo is one of the best pound for pound fighters in the world, which I'll drop my final pound for pound list this year. I think he's a great fighter. Don't get me twisted, but he ducked the fade, and whatever it was, Al said he couldn't do it, or whatever, they wanted to wait. But I heard that they didn't want that fight. They turned it down verbally. So at the end of the day, he thought, I'll never see the contract. I'm not about to waste my money and have my lawyer or whoever drop a contract, and I send it to you, say, no, we're going to tell you, we're going to fight at San Antonio at the Alamo Dome. We're going to pay you $15 million. I mean, this is stipulations. You can't rehydrate this, that. He could have turned it down for a number of reasons. But I did hear they did offer him this amount of money and whatever, but fighting at 166 a whole new thing to me. I heard that they wanted him to go up and fight David Benavidez for a belt, and I don't think David Benavidez is that great of a fighter because he liked dedication, and I don't think his chin is all that neither. But like I said before, if that's true, it's true. About the 166 thing, but like I said, I think he the only dude that got a legit shot at beating Canelo. Him and Demetrius Andrade, and I give him a slight edge over Demetrius Andrade simply for because he got power, and I think you got to knock out Canelo. Canelo lost to Floyd every round and got a was it Alec Bird or CJ Ross gave him said it was a draw. So when you talk about fighting him, I think Jermall Charlo and Jermall are the only two that really got a chance at beating him. Not Earl and Demetrius, just because he can box. Other than that, Benavidez don't have a chin, bro. And Canelo gonna make Benavidez weigh in again and all these stipulations. Benavidez is not dedicated, and once he dedicated himself to the sport, then we don't even know if Benavidez can make 168 no more. Caleb Plant, he got to get with James Toney or somebody to learn how to fight on the front foot. Until Caleb Plant get on the front foot and fight, he can beat Canelo technically, but he gonna get robbed. But at the end of the day, I would love to see all those fights happen. But then again, I don't want to see them happen if he ain't gonna fight dudes straight up. If it's gonna be some stipulations, you gotta wear Asics, you can't wear your Adidas, or you gotta come in with 12-ounce gloves. Canelo ain't a great fighter because he always need a safety belt. He need a restriction or whatever. Even with Amir Khan, he didn't put no rehydration clause. He went up to Amir Khan, said that nigga was a cruiserweight. But hey, it is what it is. This is my opinion on it. Let me know what you guys think about it. Tony Bellew, David Hay. Whole Canelo, Charlo thing. Don't forget we on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. You can reach out if you have a business question, inquiry, sponsor, video request. When I advertise your business on the channel, Twitter's a fast way, Facebook and Instagram. We also got a Facebook group as well. All those links in the description. Want to make a financial donation? Cash App CJ Good 313. That's in the description. PayPal link in the description. Best way to donate is share the video. And also check me out at Goodfellas Sports TV 2.0 and my other channel, Motor City Sports Talk. Appreciate the love, support. Let me know what you think in the comment section one time for the one time we go.
Belief about
I'm on the phone.
You on the phone?
Yeah.
You looking at my baby?
No, I ain't looking
right?
No, I'm good.
You sure?
Yeah, I'm good.
All right, man. Next time we come outside, don't be staring and shit like that. I don't like that.
I wasn't
shit.
looking at him.